Hello there. Welcome in. Hi, I'm Chef Jay Tay. Happy to see all of you back. What's new? What's happening? Hi there, Will Poker. Welcome in, Nan Reader. Hi there, JK4T. Welcome. I've changed the title. I've changed the name of the stream. Couldn't find decent candied or dried orange peel, which is sort of surprising to me. Like, it's in everything. And none of the stores had it. So we're going with dried pineapple instead. Let's see here. Are you working tonight? Not yet. Let's see. Maybe it'll wake up in a moment. It might be having issues responding. It's working on a system that is, let's just say, very stressed. It's going through a lot right now. It's going to be going through a lot for like a week and a half right now, but it's busy. Oh. Okay, where are we starting? Coffee. Coffee. So besides the Nougats getting the change, I'm going to be making beef shank. Did I just give myself a paper cut? Did I just get a paper cut off of this thing? I don't see anything. That doesn't mean much. Yeah, that's not a very good dinner command tonight. I didn't give it much to work with. I didn't tell it about the beef shanks that I'm going to be working with. And I only just recently changed the calendar and stream titles and all of that, so it hasn't registered the change from orange peel to pineapple yet. There we go, it's sort of working. Maybe it'll wake up, but like I said, it's running it at about 85% CPU, and there's something like maybe 200 meg of free RAM. It's a little busy. Well, considering it's a Intel i5 5000K, like it's old, like old, DDR3 old. This died again on me already. I'm pretty sure I straight up changed all the batteries in that too. I hope my scale ain't broke and just draining my batteries. Hey, Zahara. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully the camera had switched for that. So besides beef shanks, I am planning beef shanks with mashed potatoes and steamed broccoli. I figure I might as well do at least one of the 4 batches of broccoli properly steamed as they intend it to be done. Well, I'm still not going to use the microwave. I'm going to use the stove to steam it. So, anyways. Yeah. I didn't go to the store to get more coffee. I was going to do that. Dope. Put the scale back there and turned it on. Just out of habit of putting it back there and turning it off when I put it back there. Ooh, that was a toughie of a scramble. Interesting. Maybe it's just not even including? No, it's including pot. What's going on here? Maybe it's not connected to Twitch? Well, it wasn't connected to YouTube, so we'll go ahead and do that. I'm not sure what's going on here, but the chat's not keeping up to date over here. It's still a good 10 minutes behind. Not sure if that's a problem the API or something. Like, this is... It's not my thing. It's a mainstream app. It's a streamer bot, so I don't know what's up there. Anyways, regardless of what's up there, thank you for joining me tonight. Cheers! What do we start with? Beef. 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 Move those off to the side for a moment. Flour, a pan, my bald head. Hey, Jean-Ray. That was entirely too much flour. Yeah, that's a little bit better. I'm gonna add a whole bunch of fine salt in here with the flour. This is just an IKEA grinder with the same normal salt that I use, just making it finer. Pepper. Onion and garlic. Hey, Soph. Over on the stove, we are going to start heating up our pan here. I'm going to give that a spray of what's left in this bottle, which is nothing. Bye-bye. I guess we can use a little of this. I'm hopeful that within a year it'll do a lot more than over on the stove. We'll see. Alright, so we got our seasoned flour that I am going to now use to coat the outsides of these lightly. I feel like this is a Christmas song. I don't think it is. Nice light coating. Oh, hey, I was supposed to have that heating this whole time. I don't have another use for this flour, but if it was a restaurant, that flour would have been saved for something. It's not even started to be coated, but the next thing that I want to add in as far as interactivity with the stream is we have dinner or menu with the exclamation mark. I want to do now, but have now be like based off of my captions and chat. A little bit like the hourly summary, but being more like this is what's going on than like a summary. Hey Sniper! Welcome in 8-Bits. Thank you for the follow, whoever that was. I'm not seeing the screen at the moment. And we'll start off by searing these lovely things once we get a nice high heat in this pan. So I was complaining about the local drivers. I don't know if it was last stream, the stream before. Got another great example of what happened today. I'm trying to leave supermarket onto a one-lane, 45-mile-an-hour road. And the thing's got two entrances. It's got one at either side of the supermarket. And so there was one sort of to this side of me. And they had not one but two cars pull out, and they had pulled out enough. The car was close enough that I was like, okay, if they're accelerating, I don't really want to pull out with my big truck, and I'm probably going to slow them down at the very least. And then they took forever to gain speed. Like, this car was not gaining speed. And the guy behind him realizes that I'm sitting there waiting for the first car, and I'm a bit like, come on, let's go. And he decides he's gonna stop to let me out in traffic. And like I was saying before, that puts me in a really legal, like, he could just start driving and hit me and be like, I had right away. You know, there's no brake lights on the front of a car to say that they're stopped for you. It's just... So besides my rant, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, everyone. Hello, I am Chef Jay Tay. I cook here on stream 4 nights a week. We're about ready to get going with some searing of some lovely beef. What were we up to? What were we streaming? Jeep and Nanny? Jeep and Nanny? Jeep and Nanny? Thank you for the raid. Thank you for sharing your community. Okay, we got a nice light smoke started. Birria taco with guac. Good stuff. What peppers do you use for your birria? Which dried ones? I can never really find the like traditional ones. I don't know why, and so I always sort of like patch it up with other dried peppers that I find that are in the same ballpark. Like, yeah, we can go with that. Nice. I hope it was delicious. Welcome in, Melvin. I know this doesn't really look like nougat. Are any of you upset that it doesn't look like nougat right now? Just curious. A little too much color on that one. Beefy nougat. It's the new rage. That made it worse. Wrong way. Trying to get the sides some nice color too. Are strip steaks getting boring? I'd sort of like a strip steak right about now. These are going to take like another hour and a half, 2 hours to 4. It's poking out at us. You raise cattle? You part of one of those beef delivery things? You buy it from Warehouse Club? What's your source? What's your in on all of this beef, especially in these times? We're going to an ad right now, so I'll see all your lovely faces when we get back. We're just going to be continuing to sear this beef. Roughly 5 cups of water. Escapes. I haven't looked at what the actual letters were. I'm looking at what all your guesses are. Beef bouillon in with the water on the other side of the stove. Soy sauce in here as well. See, they're all happy to see us tonight. Alright, going to add all this back all this in there. Let me give that one more stir up, see if we can get that a little bit more. Oh yeah, it's breaking up now. Now that it's warmed up a little bit. Alright, now we'll pour this over the top of these. So we got that soy sauce, the beef bouillon, and a whole bunch of water now there with that. We're going to crank the heat up on that. Definitely bring that up at least up to a boil, but we want to keep simmering that, or 320, you want to keep it right around a boil. Like, I started to say 325 without thinking, oh yeah, boiling's not 325. But you want to keep it up there, 300-ish. Boiling temp. Taters. Let's prep. Well, they're just going to be in the way. Yeah, they're just going to be in the way at this point. What are you doing, you crazy thing? I told you not to do that. So next we'll start in on our nougat, which I am going to follow instructions on. Not entirely, but mostly. Don't need to do that, don't need to do that. We do need to prep that ahead of time. Okay, we can start with that. And start with some pineapple. I was hoping the camera was still following me, but it's not tonight for some reason. Follow me. Pineapple. It's vanilla. Milli Vanilli. Okay, we're bubbling nicely back here, so we're going to dial this back a bit now. And we're turning you. Yeah, the problem with Milli Vanilli is it wasn't lip syncing, it was straight up. They weren't singing the songs at all. Like, it wasn't even. Like, most of the recorders these days, in concerts and that, you know, are at least partially lip syncing, or they've got tracks over them, or that they recorded in the studio themselves. Milli Vanilli, like, it wasn't even their voices. More. I think that's good for diced pineapple. Melvin. Yeah. I'm just shocked it lasted for, like... He was around for a year or two, wasn't he? Like, he was not just, like, the flavor of the month. Like, it was... Why, what's wrong, Melvin? I know the bot is having issues with sourcing one of its LLMs, but other than that, it shouldn't be involving with the scramble whatsoever. Why is this not showing, like, half chat? Like, what is up with that chat window? I'm just closing that chat. I guess I'm looking at chat over here all night. Don't be vain. I got entirely too much crystallized ginger. This stuff is potent. I bit into one of these this morning and I was like, oh. Oh. You definitely know when you're biting into something when you bite into some crystallized ginger. But that's sort of what it's here for in this recipe is it's a little shocker, a little ooh. Hey Blake, welcome in. A little more. One more. Yep, I think that's good for the ginger. I do want to keep those separate from the pineapple and from the cherry, because doing much less of this, I want to try and keep that a little bit better distributed. Not the most flavorful cherries I've had. So I'm prepping all my dried fruit for this nougat. Yeah. Don't want to ruin all that marrow. Delicious, delicious marrow. We want to marrow and melt into that sauce and turn it into beautiful gravy for over those taters. Is the music it's a little bit of a quieter song tonight, but I haven't played this playlist in quite a while. This is another one of the jazz playlists that I haven't been playing very often anymore. It's certainly a little... I think it's the slowest of my set of playlists as far as, like, BPM and mood. I'm not putting it in the nougat, but I bought some of this too. Anyone seen this before? Dried cantaloupe? I like dried cantaloupe. What's going on with that? Oh, I don't know what's going on here. Maybe something changed with OBS's settings. I did just update OBS and there's new symbols here in their audio stuff that I hadn't noticed until now. Oh, that's sort of a cool addition, if it does what I think it does. Huh. That didn't double up in my ear, so I don't know if it does or not. There's now a headphone setting next to each of the mute buttons on the OBS GUI. And so I think it's whether you have it enabled for your monitor or not. So you can mute both the OBS source and your monitor independently directly from the main scene, which is a nice addition if that's what it does. That just looks wrong. Or you're... Why is it bubbling through the beef? Hey, Saucy. That was just inappropriate. We'll give the cutting board a wipe down. Always an exciting time, Saucy. Not freezer. Refrigerator. Well, I am doing a nougat tonight. For those unfamiliar with nougat, it is semi-solid, semi-soft. Generally can stay for ages because it's practically pure sugar and egg. And dried fruit. Or nuts. Traditionally, it's more pistachios and almonds. I didn't feel like doing pistachios and almonds. So we're doing a few egg whites here. And separate the yolks from the egg whites. Oh, I forgot. I guess we're doing potatoes still anyways. But I was thinking I was going to do pasta with the egg yolks. I'll find a use for the egg yolks. Oh, no worries, Saucy. Actually, it's not really... Tonight's sort of a last-minute play. The nougat was long planned, but I changed up the ingredients in the nougat here last minute. I was going to use orange peel, and we're now using pineapple instead of orange peel. And the beef is entirely because I was at the warehouse store yesterday and they had a deal on these, and it wasn't necessarily a deal, but they enticed me. I looked at them, the price was, I can do that. And so we're doing beef. Come on, separate egg white. There we go. I almost threw the egg yolk into the egg whites. That would have been bad. Cognac. Speaking of cognac, I could throw some in with the beef. Pork buns are delicious. I've eaten 2 more of them during the day today, cold. One of them for breakfast and one of them for lunch. Like, just so delicious. That pork was amazing last night. It came out so well with all the... cooked in all of that soy sauce. Oh, I'm a bit of a sucker for shank meat. It takes a while to cook, but it's, I think, the most flavorful meat that you'll come across. Whether it's beef, pig, lamb. I was not very successful with the actual bun part of it, as far as like folding and sealing them. Both out of practice, did them the wrong way for sealing, but otherwise they were delicious. Like they poofed up deliciously. They were nice and soft and fluffy. They're still soft and fluffy after sitting in the refrigerator overnight. As chat asks themselves, is he really going to hand whisk these egg whites? Yes. Try arugula. Okay, that's close enough for where I want it right now. We're eventually going to whisk that to a solid, stiff peak. That's almost there. Which do we do in front and back? You and back. It's still touching the water. Thank you, 8-Bits. Oh, hey. Helps if I actually take the lid off of this one, doesn't it? Let's see here. What did I come over here for? Oh. Honey and sugar. No. The scale died on me. Okay, I guess I'm eyeballing it. And reminding myself to consolidate those. Sunflower seeds were pre-shelled and sitting in your pantry forever. I like sunflower seeds. I don't know that I have a particular one for pesto. I'm not a huge pesto guy. Like, I mentioned arugula because I don't like really basil pesto. Alright, so we're going to start heating water in the back there. Hopefully that comes up to a boil here quickly. It's not a very big flame back there, though. cashew would probably be okay. I find cashews to be a little too just buttery, and they sort of disappear flavor-wise in a lot of things. Walnuts the same way. Like, you sort of got to use them almost like as a visual crunch thing in order for it to, for it to be like, oh yeah, there's nuts in this. Mmm. Wait, there was... Oh yeah, there's even that too. I didn't see that. Good thing I have it. I didn't see I needed powdered sugar tonight. Yeah, maybe a bit more. Let's see if we can't overflow it over my entire cutting board. So that is now prepared and ready. And do I want to add vanilla to this? I don't think that I do. Maybe we'll do almond. Yeah, I think we're going to do almond with this. Sitting here thinking if the almond, like, I don't love the idea of vanilla with the ginger, or really with the pineapple either. I think almond's a little bit better. Let's try doing this. I'm wondering what's up with... Yeah, there's our problem. You're not properly connected. Why aren't you connected, bot? And by bot, I mean streamer bot, not sprinkle bot. Nah, I think I'm just going to go with it. And hope that it doesn't turn into a disaster. Connected 2 of... It's supposed to be 3. At least you're connected with Twitch now. At least you're connected with Twitch now. Okay, we're going to start pre-warming our honey. Nice. And then we got sugar. Let me check if there isn't any water with this. I hate that half of the time recipes will just, like, skip mentioning water and, like, they won't list it in ingredients if it's, like, a legit ingredient. Like, I understand if it's, like, an ice bath or something like that, but... It doesn't look like they have any water with that. Okay, so that's warming up. Let's get our sugar melting. I'm making sure I have everything prepped here if you haven't caught on. I'm not normally one to be like, okay, do we have to have this in line and that? And that I have everything here ready to toss in. Like, what else have I forgot? What else have I forgotten? I don't have a grease container for this. And I can put that right back into the fridge because I live alone and don't have someone to complain to me about it. Trying to press it down all nicely. I'm not going to get rid of all the wrinkles, but trying to get rid of most of them. Except for here, they just keep coming in and I don't do nothing with them. Gonna add a bit more water in with the beef. Another 2 cups. It's cooked off at least a cup at this point, if not 2. Yeah, it still hasn't updated the orange. I was sitting here trying to think of some, like, scare the kid into don't doing something because they're gonna get wrinkles. Reality would probably just make the kid do more of that, but let's switch to a spatula here. I think that's going to be our play here. And this gets combined together, so I'm not too worried about the sides like I would just doing a normal caramel. But you do need to get you melted. Regardless of the fact that it's basically the end of the hour and we're going to be going to an ad here soon. We're just going to keep melting sugar and see when you get back. A lot of them are saucy, but that's more of because you can easily produce that at almost any time. It really is strange, the sound effects world and stuff like that. You look at how they used to do some of the stuff back, beginnings of like animation, beginnings of TV. Sort of fascinating. You're supposed to be melting sugar. Why ain't you melting? I'm tempted to add a little water to this sugar just to get it all going. Already as hot or hotter than I want to be with the sugar. It's not all melted. What temperature are we at with the honey? Not quite there with the honey still. So I guess we're okay that our sugar is over and early. We're just going to keep stirring it though here as we wait for the other to get ready. Hey, Mimic. I don't get that one, Saucy. I need you to be like 100 degrees warmer. I'm failing at my Nougats right now, I think, chat. I've got my sugar way too hot, way too early. I got my honey not up to proper temp to mix with the sugar. And our egg whites are deflating. Waiting. This is a recipe that if you don't completely fail it, they can last for weeks. You can even package them up and save them even longer if you put them in like good airtight containers. You can save them for like months, but definitely like a couple weeks. This little IR infrared thingy is cute and fun, but I wish I had the real toy. I want one of those, like infrared cameras that you plug into your cell phone and just look at everything on your range and be like, oh yeah, that's where your hotspot is. Like, it's got a solid flame underneath it. How are you not, like, hotter? Absolutely. Like, look at the bottom of your doors, your windows. Ooh, we're nice and soft there, though. I think I'm just going to have to go with it, chat. I think I have to just risk it for the biscuit here. And combine these and go with it. I'm going to heat the sugar up just one last time here, because it's already starting to try and crystallize on me. And I'm just going to take that honey and add it. This is a splash heavy environment with something you don't want to splash all over yourself. I'm worried that this isn't going to work. This goes into, I'll leave that here, into here. Doing the ginger sort of well spread out on the top because it's the potent part to this. And I don't want them to get 500 pieces of ginger in one bite. And speaking of that, tapping it to level it out a little bit. If I can. That's not working too well. And we'll allow that to cool. Well, the hopes with this is I'll be able to give it out, but it's a recipe that I picked that is easy to be food safe because basically I only have to worry about it at this point from now on being food safe if I'm giving it to someone because, well, that was like 300 degrees. Like, I don't think much is going to survive sitting in that for a couple of minutes. Remember, you need 165 for 15 seconds for salmonella. Hey, guess what I forgot to add in there? Oops. Now what do I do with the half cup of powdered sugar that I don't have a use for? I don't want to throw it out. I'm not going to put it back in the bag. Have any neighbors that want to come over and ask for a half cup of powdered sugar? You know, Saucy, that's a pretty darn good idea. Except I'm not going to make pancakes or use it for breakfast. You did give me a good idea. I already got the bowl dirty. See how my powdered sugar shaker is looking. Nah, that's not going to fit in there. Chat, you do realize that I have 2 more pork buns in the refrigerator that I haven't ate. I have the leftover sapsui from last night that I haven't ate. I don't have room for all of this food. Here, chat, catch. Yeah, I'm not in love with this batch. I did the egg too early for it. You do want to make sure that you do have a proper Pyrex glass thing if you're going to use this. You can use a normal 9x13 pan if you got a pan instead, but I wouldn't suggest pouring molten sugar into no-name borosilicate glass or just no-name glass. Good question. We'll know maybe tomorrow. Or I'll know maybe tomorrow. We'll set that off to the side for a little bit now. I am going to flip the lid on this and turn that on to start boiling. Back here. That's going to be for our broccoli later. Now it's tater time. They're Yukons. They are Yukon potatoes. The place that I bought them from are usually pretty good about having actual Yukon Golds, too. You never really know for sure, though. The consistency on waxy to starchy on Golds are all over the place unless you're getting actual Yukon Golds. And we'll put those on a front burner. And the reason there's smaller ones is I picked the smaller ones. The pile of potatoes looking a little picked over, and definitely all of the large, perfect, unblemished ones were gone, sort of a thing. Ooh, that's not very level. Let's make you level. Welcome in, Alex. I guess we'll use you. Is this still usable? What's the date on you first? Oh. Thanks for hanging out, Saucy. Sour cream's been around for a minute, long enough that I don't remember how old it is. But date says it's usable. It seems to be smelling okay and mixing up okay. So I think we're gonna go with that in our taters tonight. How do you decide whether to push your knife forward versus pull it back as you make a cut? I would say it's entirely your knowledge of your knife. You can, I've talked about this before, you can sharpen your knife so that it works better in a pushing or pulling method. I don't tend to hand grind my knives anymore, so I don't do that anymore, but you can very easily put, you know, if you think about the edge of your knife, microscopically, it's always going to have some sort of groove caught into it from making that straight edge. Even if it's like a stone, you know, you get the roughness of the stone creating a unevenness on that blade. And depending on how you pull it against it, it's going to cut in that same direction the same way regularly easier than in other directions. So if the lines are going straight up and down, it may be easier to just go up and down with it. Otherwise, it may have somewhat of a forward or a backward slant, and you can put that in there depending on your preference. Like you get into these, you know, high-end sushi and tuna knives that are like bigger than swords and precision ground to be, you know, cut in only one fashion. That ain't my knives, but there are knives like that out there. We burning butter back here yet? Not quite. We're gonna add some onion in there though. I think that needs another 2 cups of water. onions in the back are going to be for with our broccoli. That's also some, like, I can get into trouble with how I use my knife and saying how I should use my knife. But that is part of using a knife to begin with, is knowing that feel and how it does cut best. And by that I mean it goes sort of in the same territory of people that say your knife should be able to cut without any downward pressure whatsoever. And that's true, for the most part. You should be able to just allow gravity and the weight of the blade to cut through things. But that's not how really anyone I know actually cuts. I would sharpen my knives a heck of a lot more if I were working in a restaurant, but they still, I mean, they retain that same direction. I'm just more of I'm using a machine grinder these days in my home. Like, I'm not sitting there being like, okay, it's got to be this angle. I'm going against the stone in that direction today. You look like a good candidate for this. You had sugar in you before, but you're now going to have onions, butter, and lemon juice. Still got juice in this thing. I bought a bottle of replacement lemon juice a minute ago, and this one just doesn't end. Yeah, I'm not keen on spending dollars per lemon these days. Yeah, speaking of fresh lemon, that's something in life I'm a little about. When I moved out to California, I bought myself a dwarf Meyer lemon tree. And it's been killed off once, and it's been severely hurt twice now by neighbors that I'm very happy that are around my life, my everyday life. I very much wish that after living here in California for, 15, 20 years, that my lemon tree would be, it's a potted lemon tree, that it would actually be producing, but neighbors are just the worst, aren't they? Like, I've got another neighbor that's like complaining about people for noise. And I'm getting the flack because it looks like I'm complaining instead of this other neighbor. It's royally annoying me. Like, I do not want to make the trash people mad at me. I don't care. They don't make that much noise, lady. We got this going. We're waiting on our potatoes, I think, really. Yeah, potatoes are going to need a bit longer. Those are certainly feeling still nice and solid. Beef is looking great. I would think that we could... maybe needs a little longer, yeah. Some of it's doing well. Some of it, the smaller stuff's doing a little bit better. But... oh yeah, that one needs a bit longer. And turn the heat off on that butter and back. The butter and backs are with the taters. My new neighbors are great. They're quiet, other than, well, the dogs don't love me, but that's... considering I'm allergic to the dogs, it's sort of mutual. I mean, I don't hate dogs, but stay away from me, please. I don't want to sneeze. I don't want my eyes irritated. Don't need my skin breaking out. Thank you. I think we're actually probably going to take a bit of a break here, because taters are going to take a little bit more longer to cook. We got basically everything else prepped other than broccoli. Broccoli we're just going to dump in here, go from frozen to steamed. Beef needs a little bit more of a cook, but I think it's alright. I think I'm okay eating it at this point myself. I wouldn't want to necessarily serve it at this point, and it is most certainly not like fall apart, like done. And potatoes are just coming to a boil now, so they need another at least 10 minutes or so, I would say. So I think I'm going to take a 10-minute break here, and I will see all of you back here when I get back. Let's see if my actual new API works. I added an API into the Stream Deck to turn off the review cam. Actually, it's not going to work well with this. I don't know why I did that. I'm realizing now that I wired this new API to disable the face cam to the one that takes it to the AFK scene that doesn't have the option to display it in the first place. I also made a toggle to turn it on and off, but that's really only useful when I'm leaving it on the stove. I know that's probably clear as mud to chat. That doesn't work with OBS. But anyways, we're going to take 10 minutes here, and I'll see all your lovely faces when I get back.
If you've ever been to Venice, you remember the gondolas and the picturesque waterways. And you remember the food, too. Superb food, prepared with that very special Italian touch. The same special Italian touch that Chef Boyardee sauce with meat can give to your meals over here. Because the recipe for this tangy sauce has been brought over from Italy by this famous Italian chef. Chef Boyardee's sauce with meat is made from juicy, sun-ripened tomatoes and tender quality beef, simmered in a spicy sauce that makes a rice and cheese loaf, a casserole, or a spaghetti dish a real Italian-style dish. So when you'd like to add that special Italian touch to your dinner, do it with Chef Boyardee sauce with meat. Try Chef Boyardee sauce with mushrooms, too. Both are prepared from the chef's own Italian recipe.
What are you doing here? You ought to be outside with the rest of the kids.
This is where Thanksgiving really begins, isn't it, Edgar?
Well, now, if you're referring to the aroma of roast turkey, I concur.
No, Ray, I was talking about the kitchen. It looks like a real center of hospitality.
Did you say hospitality?
Uh-huh.
That's one thing we're always prepared for around here. Help yourself.
Wouldn't this be a good time for you and your guests to have Coca-Cola, too?
Yes, and Coca-Cola is so delicious, so refreshing, so tempting to any guest when you bring out those familiar bottles with tiny beads of moisture running down their frosty sides, assuring you that the Coke inside is really ice cold. And the good, the gracious, the friendly homes of America are always prepared for hospitality, not only on Thanksgiving Day, but every day, all the year around, no matter who comes to call or who happens to drop in. And one of the easiest, simplest, and surest ways in the world to be prepared for hospitality is to have plenty of Coca-Cola in your refrigerator, ice cold and ready to serve all the time. It's a wonderful way to say to folks, so glad you came. Welcome anytime.
I'm a guitar and I have strings. I like to play while someone sings. Hi, gang. Do you recognize this mouse guitar? It's just like the one the Mouseketeers gave me. And now Mattel Toy Makers, the people who made my mouse guitar, have a big surprise for you. you can have your very own mouse guitar just like mine. And look, I wrote out all the instructions so you can learn to play the songs we play on the show. Remember, gang, you can now get the mouse guitar wherever toys are sold for only $4. Hey, I almost forgot. Be sure to see the Mouse Guitar Junior, too. Just turn the crank and it plays the Mouse Guitar theme song. The Mouse Guitar Junior is only $1.80. Be sure to look for this label, gang. You can tell it's Mattel. It's swell.
Something new has been added. The General Electric portable mixer now has a drink mixer for delicious shakes and juice drinks in quicker than a shake. An extra attachment at no extra cost. This GE portable mixer weighs less than 3 pounds, yet it's powerful enough to blend the heaviest batter. Also mixes sauces at the range. It has low speed for cookie dough, medium speed for beating frostings, and high speed for whipping egg whites. And look, this handy push button releases the beaters at a touch. And no dangling cord. You can remove the cord so it stores neatly on the wall. Comes in 4 decorator colors. See it at your GE dealers. Does any mixing job anywhere.
And now, before the next show starts, let's enjoy an intermission. You'll find our snack bar chock full of good things to eat and drink. Tasty, tempting hot dogs, thirst-quenching soft drinks, fresh, crunchy popcorn. A complete assortment of delicious candy, and a full line of cigarettes. You've plenty of time, so visit the snack bar now. A tasty treat will double your enjoyment of the show. For your convenience, we shall keep you informed of the remaining intermission time. 3 minutes before the next show starts.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
The next show will start in 2 minutes.
Yes, Toddy, the chocolate malt in a can.
It's so good hot. It's so good cold.
It hits the spot with young and old.
Yes, toddy pleases everybody. Delicious chocolate malted toddy, made with rich, real milk, not powdered milk.
So come and get it, everybody. It's time to drink your chocolate toddy.
Just a minute, folks. Yes, that's all it takes to visit our refreshment counter in the lobby. There you'll find popcorn and an assortment of popular candy bars to please every taste. Try one of these delicious candy bars. Big Time, Butternut, Milkshake, Payday. Topped with Hollywood's super rich coating of the kind you like best. They taste wonderful, they're delicious, they're nutritious. Get one at our confection counter in the lobby now. The next show will start in 1 minute.
Alright, I'm back. Alright, I'm back. How we doing here? Beef is looking delicious. How are potatoes looking here? They're getting closer, but they still need a little longer. I think we got enough steam up here that we can get going with our broccoli, but are we ready with everything else to start the broccoli? I don't think we are, actually. I want to take this beef out and reduce this sauce down. We'll let these rest while this juice over here that I actually just fortified with some water not too long ago, we're going to reduce that down. Not worried about the little bit of sugar that's on this whisk going in here. That's just going to be fine with everything else. Totally not doing this because it's easier than cleaning the whisk otherwise. Now we'll get that thing rolling. I'm going to put the beef back in there with it. I'm just reducing it down separately so that we don't get that extreme high boil with the beef. Give the beef a little bit of time to rest. Oh, I haven't restarted the music. Oops. That's why things are so quiet. looking at those potatoes, and the skins are still looking mightily well attached. Those corners are still looking real nice, clean, and crisp, though they are not completely fresh. They need a little bit longer. I've probably got Chef like screaming, "You're gonna overcook your potatoes that way." Well, tough. Babe. Alright, now I've got that sauce considerably reduced down from what it was before. I will do this first. Cut the heat on it. This is a thick bottom pan despite it being stainless, so it's going to hold the heat pretty well. I'm going to sacrifice some of this butter I I put together here for the taters. And drop a little of that in here. And then we'll add the beef back in. Why are these taters taking so long to cook? Let's see if they're just holding their shape better than most or something. Ah. That may be it. These may not be Yukons. And give these a strain. Try and mix it all together and get it all off the bottom there. I'm not going to obviously completely re-emulsify it, but maybe I can get most of it out of there. Salt. MSG. Pepper. All right, now we'll start steaming the broccoli. The lemon juice, butter, and sauteed onion I have on top of the mashed potatoes in hopes that it'll warm it up a little bit before I mix it in with the broccoli. I can definitely do a bit of this action here. Bit of MSG in there with the pepper and onion and butter. Salt. Red pepper flake. Massacred the kitchen tonight. Massacred the kitchen this evening. Ooh, that one's got an X. Yeah. Actually, I should check. Has that arrived? Red Hots are outside. With what I forget what else. I think I ordered something else with them. Now I'm wondering what else I bought. Let's take a look at this broccoli. How far along are we? Gonna give that another. Let's give that another minute. It's edible. It's definitely not frozen. I'd like to feel a couple more degrees in the center of it than I did in that piece. I don't remember. I think I was saying that last stream. I don't remember if they're chewy inside or not. Or if they're just straight hard candy. But I don't remember them being straight hard candy. I mean, straight hard cinnamon candy is not very deserving of own name-ish. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'll take it. Bumped the mic there, sorry. With that image, I'm going to go run outside and see if I can't find this package of Red Hots. Oh, let's make sure you're not, that camera isn't going to be bouncing all over the place. Be right back. Gotta change into outdoor shoes though. In case you're wondering, the Crocs don't leave the house. They're here. I don't know if you can hear me anymore or not. That means at least half of my audio self-corrected itself after walking out of range of Bluetooth. I didn't think about that. Should have thought about that one before leaving the house. Let me see here. Can we correct that? They lost Bluetooth entirely. Wow, there's so much stuff running on my PC right now. Connect. No. Cool. Okay. I can hear things again. And it's time for dinner. Let me see if I can open this box without showing off my house address to everyone. Nope, that's it. Just Red Hots. Don't need 4 boxes of these, but the price of that, or no, it wasn't the price, it was I could only get them in that size in a reasonable timeline. Everything else was like the end of the month or later. I remember not hating them, but like at the same time, it's just cinnamon, so I believe this is where we leave things for this fine evening, though. I should be back here on... Oh, wait. We have to end the ingredient challenge for Wednesday right now. Let's see. We have to call it for Red Hots. 8-3. And so, I'm going to enjoy my dinner. We have Red Hots as a part of dinner and dessert ready for us on Wednesday. More fun stuff coming up for the end of the week. As he looks at his calendar because he can't remember anything. I'm going to try and make paella bites on Friday. I'm gonna try and make little mini paellas and cook them in like, I'm not gonna fry the onion rings, but like actual like fresh onion rings. I'm gonna use the onion rings to sort of like the sides of the pan and hopefully get a nice crisp on the bottom of it so that it holds as sort of like a holdable cup. That is the plans for Friday evening. And Sunday we've got Arizona. Yeah. These state dinners are turning out nice. What we got for Arizona? Sonora dogs. We're going to be doing hot dogs wrapped in bacon in a bun that's a little bit more like a French baguette. And then it's with mayo, refried beans, chopped tomatoes, onions, and jalapenos. I'm questionable on the tomatoes, but the rest of that 100% is going to happen. So that is going to be our Arizona dinner. That's where I'll stop telling you what's coming up. You can figure it out. It's in the calendar. The calendar link's down in the doobly-doo. Let's see. I haven't even started looking to see who's online tonight. I think I'm going to leave it right here. I appreciate all you hanging out with me tonight. I don't think I'm going to raid out tonight. I hope to see you back again soon. Have a great finish.